Ducks! Yes, ducks in outer space in the Disney afternoon to the moon. I don't even know why I tried. Anyway, what's up, folks, and welcome back to Ducktales Remastered. Last episode, I accidentally kicked my fan. It's my biggest fan, actually. Bigger than any of you guys. I'm kidding. Like, fave, subscribe. Anyway, last episode we did the Himalayas. We searched for stuff. We beat the Yeti. I talked about more stuff. Oh yeah, I talked about the opportunity of animation. This episode, we're on the moon. The most symbolic, not symbolic, the most, what's a good word to actually put this into? Probably the base. What is ultimately the fan favorite of this whole entire game? I think basically the thing that, like, while the game was solid in itself and everything else was really good, the moon theme and the moon stage, well, especially the moon theme, was really what, like, I think allowed DuckTales to be as popular as it is now, as opposed to back in the day. And I don't want to say that Brentalfloss, the musician, was like the driving points, but I think he was definitely one of the biggest reasons why it was like so popular, because, you know, he did the whole "What if DuckTales had lyrics?" and so he sung lyrics to the song, and it was really good. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the viewers who have never played the game, you know, experienced the song first before the game. So yeah, I mean, another thing too is that with it being basically what's one of the best songs in the game, and even Brentalfloss made the joke about how, why is this a stage song when it should be the credits song? So the composer Jake Kaufman, I'm not saying this is all like one-to-one, but it's just amusing that throughout most of the game, there's actually been a little bit of addition of the moon theme throughout the entire game, or through a lot of the stages. Key points especially being the Himalayas, sorry, and Scrooge's office. Those are like probably the biggest points where you actually hear the moon theme before actually going to the moon stage itself. So yeah, and even more impressive is that, like, I'm pretty sure one of the biggest concerns is like, oh god, please don't screw up the song. But nope. If there was ever more reason that Jake Kaufman apparently knows what he's doing, this is probably it, because he used the original theme. He made it as awesome, if not awesomer, than it originally was. And yeah, sure, there's already been like a lot of remixes and stuff, but as far as like what is basically official and endorsed, this is like probably as good as it gets, if not better. Not counting for, like, you know, the guitar remixes and stuff. Oh, look at those cute little rats stuck back there. Alright. 0G. It's kind of one funny thing to note that this swimming animation that you see in space is probably the same kind of animation that's used when Scrooge is swimming in his money bin. And that's the only time you ever see it. As far as I've seen it, at least. But yeah. So it really is impressive that, like, or, you know, this must be like a really good honor and opportunity to be the one to actually get to remix the song. A song like this. I mean, sure, there's also the pressure of, like, if you F up really badly, there's going to be a lot of people who aren't going to be happy with you. But more often than not, if you're in charge of something and you haven't been fronting the entire time, like, you know, you've already done good thus far, there's no reason why you can't continue doing good now. Of course, you'll get people that'll still complain, like, what is this guy? He doesn't know what he's doing, but, you know, haters gonna hate, unfortunately. That's probably the most truest phrase, which is, like, probably the most disheartening phrase also. But yep, haters will always hate. But, you know, don't worry about all the haters, worry about, well, no. If, like, you should take up criticism when it comes to you. But just because you have to take criticism doesn't mean you always have to hear it. And other people love to, like, think that they're always criticizing when sometimes they're just, you know, when they're just, like, just hating in general. Like, man, this stage is stupid. Alright, what else do you have to say? Like, and then they don't list you, so like, oh, you don't know how to take criticism. But yeah, I think criticism only holds up so well. Critiquing, on the other hand, holds up a whole lot better. Because, let's see, when you criticize something, you know, you're just giving your judgment, and that's it. Hey, this is good, this is bad, I like it, I hate it. And that's all. Critiquing, though, actually gives more power to your opinion, for one thing. But also, it's not just simply giving your opinion, but, like, it's telling the way of, like, how to actually improve on it. So, like, you say, hey, the stage, there's something that feels wrong with this stage. I don't like the stage too much. And yeah, you put that point out there. But rather than just leaving it at that, try to like come up with why you think the stage isn't really good and why you think it'll be better. Like try to like justify your answer, but also try to encourage how the person can do better. And I think, what is it? I saw a little post on Tumblr about the same thing, a little bit about like that most critiquing and comments should more be positive than negative and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think there's a difference between like negative critiquing, negative comments. Let me see, because I don't want to say you're not allowed to say anything negative at all. But more often than not, like, you know, if it's not going to help build up ultimately, if it's going to be negative and not going to build up at all, maybe you just shouldn't have to worry. Maybe you just shouldn't worry about, you know, critiquing that much. I'm trying to think of other examples too. Like, me and a few other friends are big Nintendo fans, and you know, I know I've had situations where like I mentioned something about like, man, I can't wait for this Nintendo game to come out, and then for some reason a person has like that big feeling of like talking about how Nintendo hasn't made a good game in years and how they're doomed. They should just drop out of the console market now. Like, I didn't ask for your opinion, you piece of. I mean, you're free to your opinion, freedom of speech and all that, but you know, if I'm saying I can't wait for this game, that does not mean I'm looking for, you know, you to say, hey, they stopped being good past a certain time. I'm not in the mood to get in an argument with you. That's not to say I'm not keen on certain debates and stuff. But more often than not, like, a lot of the more debates that I've actually kind of gotten into, I feel like have been... Can I still jump up there if I... Yeah, I can get up there. A lot of debates that I seem to get into are often not so much about, like, what they could do better or what's necessarily wrong. It's just these guys are wrong with this stuff and they're not doing any better, they're out of touch, so they're doomed. That kind of stuff. At least that's what I kind of feel I've gotten into a lot of conversations about. Like, what is it? I think one of the best examples was that it was in an animation class back in college that I say that as if that was a long time ago. If it wasn't earlier this year, it was most likely last year. But yeah, I was just chatting with the guy. I was saying like, man, I'm looking forward to all this Wii U. I'm looking forward to the Wii U. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was looking forward to the Wii U. And then out of nowhere, this person just starts talking about how like, man, Nintendo just doesn't, you know, Nintendo just doesn't have it anymore. They made a low-spec console and all this stuff. And then he brings up a random article saying like, look, they lost millions of dollars recently, so they're not gonna last much longer. But I'm like, here I am following really, really closely about everything. Not everything. A lot of things Nintendo news. Knowing that they have more money in the bank than they know what to do with, that they're not going to be doomed that easily. But then there's this one guy who just, you know, thinks he knows everything, and all of a sudden all his opinions are the ultimate ones that really matter, which, his opinions are worth something. But, as I mentioned, I think 2 episodes ago, or 1 episode, he was playing Backseat Analyst. Did I ever get to finish that story? He was playing Backseat Analyst, and, he was just spouting so much stuff, but here I am like, don't worry about it, dude. You're worrying about all the wrong things, you're talking about all the wrong stuff. You're just clearly not a fan, and that's okay, but, you know, don't talk mess that you don't exactly know. It's just kind of my opinion, at least. Yeah, did I finish the story about Backseat, anything? How people, you know, usually people who are watching, more often than actually doing, feel like they could do better. No. Okay. Oh no! No! You son of a goat! Alright. How about you jump off this time? You loser. Anyway, I feel like having a peanut butter jelly sandwich all of a sudden. I think I might do that after this episode. Anyway, though. So, in case stop me if you heard this before, not like you really can, because this is post-recording. That, you know, there's always been those situations where people think, yeah, I did talk about this. People think they could do better. People think that certain ideas are just so much easier, like, oh, the animation sucks, just make it better. And you can come up with that opinion and critique and stuff, but understand that it's not as easy as just make it better. It's like, you know, say I made a cake with only like, oh wait, I forgot to go back to the ship. Say I made a cake with only like certain ingredients and I'm all out of the ingredients. Someone eats the cake and said, oh, it doesn't taste as good as I thought it would be. Make it again. Or why don't you make it, like, no, I know a better idea. Now, I make a cake. the person says, it's alright, but can you make it taste better? But how can I make it taste better when I'm all out of the ingredients? Additionally, do you know how to cook? Do you know how to make a cake? How much cooking experience do you have? You think you can do better? Well, no, seriously, go give it a shot. But yeah, I think I also mentioned that a person doesn't have to be experienced to know what's good or bad. Oh yeah, Gizmo Duck's with me now. But yeah, a person doesn't have to be a professional to know what's, to know what they like or hate. But I think that they need to, even if you're not professional or super experienced, you do at least need to understand that, how easy, hard, or difficult something is. And more often than not, the people who are often like, think they can do better are often just on the receiving end. Come on, Gizmo Duck, follow me. Set me free. Trust me, we can escape from the Moody. This way. Come on, dude. Okay. Alright. Oh, no! Man, I kind of wish I actually did stop and check the cutscenes now, because, they actually did play into some moments that actually raised some questions back in the old game, like how is he able to walk around and breathe on the moon? Why does Gizmo Duck only have one wheel on his machine? But nah, no worries. Again, as I've said frequently, if you really, really want to see the story, the cutscenes and stuff, I really do recommend getting this game, because, like, not even to be a jerk, just the driving point of enjoy this game, check the cutscenes, get the game yourself. You loser! I'm kidding, I'm sorry. Stay with me, like faces cry. But yeah. So, backseat anything. You're free to have an opinion, you're free to judge, you're free to say stuff, but realize it's not as easy as you think it is if you've never put in the work yourself. That's all I can say about that. But yeah, this playthrough's actually been kind of going pretty smooth. Tastes good, goes down smooth. Nice. But yeah. Yeah. I'm just seriously wondering, like, what game, like, if, no doubt this game was successful to some extent. As long as Capcom isn't jerky about how maybe a couple thousand isn't successful. Oh, we only sold 2 million? That's not a success in my book. Only eat the finest of cheeses and wines. Wine and cheese. I never really understood why that made any sense to anyone else, but, why question anything? We can just go with the flow. Speaking of going with the flow, I actually went to a water park the other day. It was quite wet and moist. I'm sorry. Speaking of which, why I am mad that the internet ruined so many things. And I think the most recent thing that they ruined was the word moist, because up until recent years, it has never been a dirty word to me. And maybe I just been hanging out with the right people. But, moist is just not, not soaking wet, but just, oh, boss time. But yeah, moist isn't exactly soaking wet, but it's just, not dry. Like, say, condensation on a water bottle. Yeah, that's what technically moist is, like a moist towelette. It's like wet, not soaking where it's dripping, but like, God, it just all sounds... Curse you, internet! They ruined so many words and everything. And before you even bring up Rule 34, F that mess. Also, if you don't know what Rule 34 is, please don't look it up. Please don't look it up. And that's probably just even encouraging people more. Like, don't push the red button. And they push the red button, okay. Whoa, oh, okay. The rat just stopped. But yeah, I guess that's all I can say about that. No, I was on the roll with, like, about how the internet ruins everything. Like, I wanted to make, like, a separate rant about this, but, like, how, say, the villager from Animal Crossing. He's always been, like, kind of the carefree, always looking to his left kind of character. And that's all he's always been to me. And I've been playing Animal Crossing since the day it released in the US. Well, not the day, maybe the year it released in the US. 2002. 11 years? Oh my god, I just died! That oh my god was supposed to go towards something else first. But yeah, man, 11 years of Animal Crossing? Are you kidding me? Holy snap. But yeah, so, all of a sudden he gets introduced in Brawl. Not Brawl, in Smash 4. And suddenly everyone's just like, not everyone, but the internet's basically turned him to a homicidal killer rather than, just who he originally was, which was just a carefree villager. And the internet just seems to have a tendency to just mess with anything you hold dear to yourself. Like, I think another example would be, what is it? My Little Pony and, like, what is it? Pinkie Pie? How, you know, she's a carefree, loving character. Then suddenly, I'm pretty sure everyone knows about that story now, about the whole Pinkamena, and just how violent and dangerous she becomes and stuff. I swear, like, the internet and society, maybe in general, just kind of has an obsession with, like, trying to, like, you know, turn everything that's just kind of sincere and lighthearted into either something sarcastic or I wouldn't say jerky, but, like, you know, they try to maturify everything. And while that's not outright bad, it just kind of goes to show, like, just how people's minds work sometimes. Or maybe not people's mind, but, like, maybe I would say people, not societies. How many more hits is this gonna take? Curse you, rat, take that! How about you go get taken down? Yeah, there we go. Dang, that rat's freaking out, like, ugh, no, yeah. But I beat him. Giant Moon Rat, more like Giant Mood. Never mind, I got nothing. Mission complete! Yeah! Alright. Oh, dang, like, oh god. I stretched and my elbows popped. Man, I need to exercise some more. Yeah. 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 Man, I must have racked up a whole lot of money. Dude, look at all that money right there. I can finally pay back my college tuition. Anyway, so I'm gonna, again, skip the cutscene, go into the final stage, which I guess is kind of automatic. I didn't even get a choice in this. And Glomgold is actually behind me. He was the guy who actually tried to sabotage me in the middle of the Himalayan stage. Next episode, I shall explain who Glomgold really is. Dang, I was actually hoping the stage would actually begin so that I could actually cut there. But nah. Okay. So, see you guys next time. Peace.